everybody's got one thorn in their side that's probably unique to us maybe, but also there's one that's probably the same, and that's pride. And do you think in particular someone like Paul himself, based on his background, would have been that much more open to being prideful either way?
Oh yes. I think for a variety of reasons. First of all, Paul is really talented, right? Here is a guy who has it all. He's got an enormous amount of physical energy. He's extremely smart, right? He's one, I mean, if you studied under Gamaliel, that's the Harvard of Jewish rabbinical schools. So the guy, as they say, wasn't a dummy. I mean, he was a really smart guy, and he knew he was a smart guy. He had the rhetorical gifts. He can get in front of any crowd, and he's got them going. He's got that gift of rhetoric, and he's an incredible writer. If your audience has written, sat down and really has read these wonderful letters, absolutely, they're so just powerful, so lovely, to read these things. The rhetorical flourish, the conceptual clarity, the strong logic in the argumentation. The guy is incredible. And on top of it all, right, he's got this charisma, this energy, this vision for building the church. If anybody could have thought, hey, who's Messiah around this joint? Or how could the church live without me? How could God work without me? If anybody could have been inclined to this opinion, and believe me, it can happen to anyone, and the devil works overtime on the saints, right? It was St. Paul, and yet he knows, hey, I got a blessing. I got a real blessing. I don't have to worry about me being in the center and God in the periphery. I'm so utterly dependent on people, utterly dependent on Him, right? This is a gift from God. In my view, his going blind is a gift from God that comes to him and enables him to be humble, enables him to put his whole life in the arms of Jesus. And because of that, right, he says, okay, this is not a curse. This is a blessing. And if people have these kinds of sufferings, the one thing you want to look at is, hey, is there some element of pride that I need to deal with? Or maybe one of the other 7 deadly sins. Honestly, thorns in the flesh are very good for other deadly sins too, like envy, like greed, right? Like anger, right? And of course, lust, and of course, sloth, right? There's nothing like a good old, thorn in the flesh to really just get us thinking about life and thinking about, is there something I need to do to have a more meaningful life in light of this thorn, and to get us out of superficiality into the arms of God. Nothing like a perfectly good thorn in the flesh. Yeah. So, people, we just need, in this century where we're so used to getting instant cure for all the illnesses, and believe me, I love living in the 21st century. Got a headache? Take an aspirin. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for it. But on the other hand, I also know this. I myself have that good eye problem that I think St. Paul had, and I must say, what a blessing it has been, not just for one deadly sin, but for multiple deadly sins for me. And it's really, really helped me in life. And I think the people around me know it has really not only kind of given me an avenue away from the deadly sins, but it has made me more humble-hearted, like poor in spirit, the first beatitude, and more gentle-hearted, more meek, the third beatitude. So I think it's really helped me in many, many ways. And I think St. Paul recognized the same thing. There used to be an old economics expression, never waste a perfectly good recession. My thought is, never waste a perfectly good moment of suffering, because of course there's always the possibility for sacrifice, always the possibility to meet a challenge, always the possibility to grow in humility, always the possibility to grow in compassion, always the possibility to grow in gentle heartedness, and always the possibility possibility to turn away from the 7 deadly sins, and always the possibility to find our strength in Jesus Christ. So, all these things are these huge opportunities of suffering. And I have just right now the galleys of my new book, which will be coming out from Ignatius in about 2 months, called The Light Shines On in the Darkness, Contending with Suffering Through Faith. And that book should be coming out in about 2 months. I'm actually doing the corrections on the galleys as we speak. Well, not as we speak, but after we speak.